renting a house and getting Wi-Fi in the Philippines. Okay, first off, renting a house. It's not like in America where a real estate person is gonna come pick you up in a nice car and drive you around and show you 10 properties, then take you to lunch, and then show you another 5 properties. It's not like that in the Philippines. To rent a house, you go on Facebook Market. Everybody loves Facebook in the Philippines. You go on Facebook Marketplace and you see a house for rent. But you scroll down, you see 5 different people have the same house for rent. Well, these people, they're not real estate brokers. They're just people making postings and listings of renting houses. They're not even a broker. They're just hoping that if you rent the house, the person that owns the house is going to give them a little commission. So it's just about a commission. Now, they ain't got no car. You want to go see the house that's listed on Facebook Marketplace, it's not going to have the address. So you just can't go look at it. You have to contact the person that has it rented. 90% of the time, they're not even a real estate person. So they're going to say, yeah, we can go look at it. Can you meet me there? Can you get a trike? You want to ride on my scooter? They're not going to come pick you up and take you there. You're going to have to meet them there. If you don't have a car, you're going to have to rent a car, or you're going to have to rent a scooter. And I got a whole nother video on the scooter situation. So the situation in renting a house, the people that are renting the house are not brokers. Now, once you kind of get through that, there are some professional brokers. If they're not a professional broker and they don't have transportation, don't even mess with them. My third day here, these 2 ladies, oh yeah, we're gonna show you these houses. Okay. So they come pick me up. We drive around for 3 hours. You know how many houses I saw? 0. We would drive around for 20 minutes, stop. They would get out and talk for 10 minutes and then come back. They were supposed to come pick me up in a Toyota pickup. They came and picked me up in like a work truck that one of the workers, they got from one of the workers. So we drive around 2 or 3 hours. I says, look, we ain't seen a single house yet. Oh. I said, take me back. Take me back to the hotel. Just take me back. We get back to the hotel. The guy driving the truck, he gets out screaming, demanding money. You pay me. I'm going to get a lawsuit. I'm going to call the police. I said, I'll pay you. It doesn't matter to me. How much do you want? I was trying to give him like, I don't know, $20 for 3 hours. You can rent a whole car for 6 hours for $25. You know, some of these people that are not professional brokers that don't have a car, they were saying, yeah, you can rent a car for $50 for 5 hours and we'll show you 5 properties. They're just trying to rent the car. They're not really trying to show you anything. So anyway, we drove around for 3 hours. I said, just take me back to the hotel. So this guy gets out screaming, I'm going to call the police. I'm going to get a lawsuit. And I didn't know any better. I said, I'll give you some money. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. So finally, you know, the security guard at the hotel saw it. And the security guard at the hotel is my good friend. Every morning, I send him either orange juice or Diet Coke or some coffee. Because when I finally got my truck, I parked in front. He kind of watched my truck. So anyway, you only want to deal with a broker that has transportation, number 1. Now, I got 2 that are very good. Now, one of the problems is when they start showing you property, they're going to take you to property that's dirty, filthy, hasn't been cleaned. What you see in the picture and what you see when you get there, it's going to be a shock. You're going to be shocked. So it seems like they show you kind of the bad properties first. Like they're trying to push the bad properties on you. You got to say, I want a 3-bedroom house with a big yard, with a gate all the way around. They're going to take you to duplexes. They're going to take you to apartments. You got to just keep telling them. So finally, after learning to stay away from the jokers and to stay away from the wannabe real estate broker people, I finally was referred to somebody very good. And they took me to some very good properties. But now some of the properties, they don't have air conditioner. You know, if you're American and you're renting a house and it doesn't have an air conditioner, you know, and they're saying, oh, the owner will put it in. Well, nothing happens fast in the Philippines. If an American says, I'm going to come build a fence tomorrow at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock tomorrow, he's there building a fence. They say that in the Philippines, it means nothing. If they say tomorrow, we're going to come, it means nothing. There is no tomorrow. Philippine time and American time is different. So, if you're looking at a property and it's not clean and it doesn't have an air con, you just need to look at another property. So, finally, I went and saw some good properties. Now, the house I got now, perfect. Perfect. Gigantic backyard, gigantic front yard, 3 air conditioners, 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. Now, it wasn't furnished. It was unfurnished. I had to go buy everything in this house. But I finally found something good. Now, what they wanted was here, and what I was willing to pay was here. So, I had a big stack of cash with me. And after, you know, they negotiated, I says, look, I opened the bag and I pulled out a stack of cash this big. And I said, I will pay you X amount of money every 365 days, and I will stay here for 30 days. That's the way you negotiate the deal here. If they say no, I already walked out of 2 deals. So my real estate person knew, telling these owners, he's going to walk out. If you don't agree to what he wants, he will walk out. No deal is better than a bad deal. There's no need to make a bad deal here. Now that I've got this house, and I love this house, I want to stay here 30 years. I have no intentions of ever leaving this house. But after getting this house, driving around this neighborhood, there's a lot of houses for rent. There's nice houses. So don't come here and settle for something that's not perfect, because there are perfect houses at good prices. And when they say 1 month down and another 2 months, so you're basically paying 3 months up front, you're never going to see that money. Don't pay it. You contact me directly and I will tell you how to negotiate the deal. So anyway, there are plenty of houses for rent. Now my house, I'm going to make a video of my house when the sun comes up, because right now it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, it's dark, and show you the outside and inside. Now, that's the situation renting houses. What they ask for means nothing. When they say they want 3 months up front, that means nothing. Now, you need to go to an attorney and you need to get everything in. I got an 8-page agreement, because if you get with a bad landlord, they can make it very rough on you. They will take your money and make it very rough on you where you want to leave. And then they keep your money. So I have an excellent attorney, excellent Filipino attorney. Once you get the deal, you say, okay, I'm going to pay you this, meet me at my attorney's. And you go to your attorney and you have him type up everything to the penny. Then you sign it and you have them sign it. That's the way to do the house. Now, the Wi-Fi. Let's get to the Wi-Fi. I wanted Starlink. To get Starlink, you have to order it, and it takes 3 weeks to get it. Well, 3 weeks with 2 typhoons could mean 3 months. So that's out. Now, you can get on Facebook Marketplace. People say they got it and they don't have it. They want to sell you second generation. Well, why buy second generation when there's third generation? Why buy a 5-year-old computer when you can get a brand new computer for $100 more, you know? So they say they're coming. We're going to be there at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Well, they call you the next day. We're going to be there at 9 in the morning. No. We're going to be there at 3 in the afternoon. Nope. This went on for 2 weeks. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, Filipino time. And I'm not criticizing the Philippines. It's just a different culture. Filipino time is not the same as American time. I was brought up very strict. If my mother said 7 o'clock, that means 6:45. So all my life I've been like that. 40 years in the tree business. If I go look at a tree job and the person's more than 10 minutes late, I leave. I don't call them back. I don't return their phone calls. That's just me. Now, when you get to the Philippines, you better leave that in LA before you get on the plane to the Philippines, because time means nothing. When they say a certain time, tomorrow, later, it means absolutely nothing. So and it's not bad. That's just the culture here. So you got to understand that. So finally, I said, you know what? I'm going to get in my truck and drive around and find somebody installing internet cable on the street. So that's what I did. I drove around and I found some guys. They said, okay, you got to fill out this application. I took his phone, I filled out the application. They said, we'll be at your house at 3 o'clock and we'll install the internet. So, I'm there at 2 o'clock. I said, if you get there early, just go ahead and get started. No show. Didn't call, didn't show up, nothing. So, that was a Friday. Maybe Saturday they'll come. Maybe Sunday they'll come. So they show up Monday. And he says, well, okay, we need your passport. We need a copy of identification. Okay, I showed him that. About an hour later, he come back. He says, we need proof of a rental agreement. I got that. I got an 8-page signed affidavit from an attorney. I showed them that. They come back an hour later. They said, okay, talk to this lady. So I talked to the lady. She goes, yeah, we can do it. It's going to be a couple of days before we can set it up, and the power won't be on for probably 2 weeks. I said, ma'am, I'll talk to her on the phone. I said, I've been trying to get internet for 2 weeks. If you can't do it today, I will go with somebody else. She goes, okay, we'll do it today. So the guys get out of the truck. They said it won't take but 30 minutes. It took 2.5 hours. That's okay. It's okay. So they got everything set up, the wires and everything. They said it'll come on in the morning. It didn't come on in the morning. So the next day he came back and, is your internet on? I said, nope. So he came in, played with the modem. He says, okay, in 30 minutes it'll be on. I said, okay, 30 minutes it'll be on. Okay. So 30 minutes later it was on. I got internet. I got a house to rent and I got internet. But you've got to understand, you're going to have patience, and you're going to have to understand time. When they say a little bit later, tomorrow, you're just going to have to know that it doesn't mean tomorrow. So that's the story of renting a house and getting internet in the Philippines. It took a little while, but I got it done.